have a ton of updates for you guys. We are working on the shed currently. Tyler is out putting in a bunch of insulation. He's going to be updating the turtle build, and we did some jumping spider enclosures. I didn't get a lot of footage of everything, but I'll include as much as I can. And of course, what I know a lot of you guys are waiting on, we are going to be doing the question and answer video today. So I actually got over 50 questions within the first couple of days, but I'm going to include pretty much all of them in this video since it's my first Q&A. I want everyone to be able to ask a question. So we're gonna start with Facebook, then we'll go through Instagram, the Facebook groups, and then Messenger, because I've got questions on all of them. On some of these I have double questions, so I'm going to include everyone's little clip at the top, but I will only answer the question one time, okay? Brittany asked one that I said I wouldn't answer, but it's my first Q&A, so I'll actually go ahead and do that for you guys. She said, what is the most amount of animals you've ever had in your care at once? So I think the most ever that we've had all at once, all underneath my care, whether it was rehab, personal pets, rescue, everything all together, would probably be like 120-ish, maybe a little more than that. It's been a while since we've had that high of a number. We're a little bit lower right now. Jennifer asked, is that the inside of the new animal house? Yes, that was from the inside of the new animal house. She's talking about the thumbnail from the previous video. Paige asked, what made you start rescuing animals and what do you love most about it? What I love most is knowing that I will be able to 100% guarantee that they will have a forever home. They will never again have to go through what they went through, whether it was really bad or just a little bad. Just being able to have that peace of mind for myself, even though they don't know that, I know that they will be okay forever. What made me start rescuing animals? My mother. My mother loves animals. She's loved animals her whole life. She's loved horses. She's always been a free spirit, and I think I took after her 100% with all of that. Shannon asked, do you have a favorite animal, and is there any that you would never rescue again? I don't have a favorite animal, just because I feel like that'd be horrendous to pick one. I do have a favorite species currently. My favorite mammal group that I own is my sugar gliders. My favorite animals in general that I own are probably my tarantulas, honestly. That is by far my favorite overall animal. And the animals that I'm closest to have to be my dogs, just because they're with me 24/7. They have no type of a cage that they have to remain in, and they like to be handled, whereas a lot of animals don't necessarily care to be. They don't need you. My dogs love me. They want to be around me as much as I want to be around them, so definitely my dogs. Brandy asked, do you have a number limit on animals you take in a month, or do you just keep adding space to allow more rescues? So I more so have a motto that I go by. If I can't financially prepare for it, emotionally handle it, or space-wise actually provide the proper environment for it, then I'm not even going to consider it. But generally, just because I'm willing to give up a lot of things that other people either can't or won't, and the situation that I'm in is ideal for what I'm doing, I can almost always do that within reason. So I have never hit a true limit just because I figure it out every time, and I'm also always preparing myself for stuff that I've never even worked with. For instance, I have an entire hedgehog set up ready to go. Never have I owned a hedgehog, never do I plan to own a hedgehog, but they are in the rescue community, so I've got it ready to go. That way, if it ever happens, everything's done. Do you remember the first animal you ever rescued or adopted, and if so, what is it? The very first true rescue that I did all by myself with my idea, everything, would be my dog Paxson, and that was several years ago. I got him from the Aggieland Humane Society. He was my first dog that I picked out and adopted. He was basically almost free. I think he was something crazy like $20, because he was not house trained properly, and he was a burn victim per se. He was very badly burned on his back purposefully by someone that went out of their way to physically harm him like that, which is absolutely disgusting. Next question is, when will you add daggers? I'm not sure how you really pronounce that, but when will I add them to my collection, rescue, whatever you'd like to call it. I call it my family. As soon as the opportunity arises, either from a rescue or possibly from a ethical breeder. I know those animals aren't really in the rescue community that often, so if I happen to come across someone and I had the time and space, then I would definitely consider it because they are amazing little creatures. So how many ferrets have you had and do you feed raw? Laura asked. So I've had 5 ferrets, and yes, I have fed raw to all 5 of them. We are really big Fank and Prey people. That is what I have always fed. I would like to start doing more whole prey, of course frozen thawed only. I just don't have the freezer space to commit to that at the moment on a full-term scale. Jessica asked, what is your favorite animal to work with? As far as working with where I don't have to commit building for an enclosure and everything like that, I love working with like true exotics is what I like to call them. So I've gotten calls for everything from kinkajous to monkeys to pythons, I mean all sorts of stuff. Now these animals generally at the moment I can't truly commit to keeping full time, so if I had the ability to work with them and get them to a sanctuary that can accommodate them, I love doing that because I'm helping without getting in over my head. One day I'll have the space for stuff like that and the licensings for certain animals, but I can only do what I'm allowed to do now. Out of the ones that I've gotten to keep true exotic wise, our skunk Flower touched my heart the most as far as working with exotic animals. She was a beautiful soul, and she was 100% through the rescue community as well. April says, I know you work in the cosmetology field. Did you ever consider going into veterinary medicine? So funny story, I actually have 2.5 years of credit through vet school that I never went and finished. We have one of the best schools in the country right here in the town that I live in. I think it's like number 7 in the world or the country, I don't know. It's like top 10 basically. And I took courses through that, but never ended up finishing it. It was way too hard emotionally for me, and I knew I wanted to be a part of the animal world and community, but not in the vet school. It just wasn't for me. Gabby asked, what is your favorite species of spider or tarantula? My favorite species of tarantula is my Grammostola pulchra. Basically the Brazilian black is the common name, and she is my sweetest invertebrate out of everyone. I mean, the praying mantises are pretty sweet, but I think that's just because they're not big enough to hurt me yet. So she's by far my favorite. She's stolen my heart. She's the reason that I got into all other types of invertebrates, and they're known for being dog-like, basically the sweetest of most spiders. Of course, everyone has their own personality, but she's really sweet. And second, after the Grammostola pulchra tarantula, as far as just spiders in general, tarantulas or true spiders, jumping spiders are definitely really high up there. Me and Gabby both have a lot of those, so we have that in common. I'm pretty sure that's why she asked that question. Paige asked, what made you start rescuing animals and what do you love most about it? I already did that one. Who were you when you decided to go into rescuing it, or was it all your life? Also, what is your least favorite animal or insect? Oh my gosh, my least favorite? I don't know if I have a least favorite. Okay, I'm gonna go with least favorite with something that, not something that I hate or dislike or I'm afraid of, but something that I have never considered owning or rescuing or even getting into at all would be birds. I know that sounds so crazy. They're super intelligent, beautiful creatures, but it doesn't interest me in any way. It actually kind of makes me reverse back a little bit because it's not something that I am ready for, aware of, educated on. What is your dream pet that you don't own? Okay, so something that I would love to own, not necessarily as a pet, but work with in a conservation effort or through a zoo or sanctuary, would be any type of large species of water monitors. I love water monitors. I think they're the most beautiful things in the world. I would absolutely die if I could set up a massive outdoor enclosure and work with someone that is working on conservation efforts. I know zoos oftentimes work with people who have large amount of land because they generally only have enough room for the display animals, and these people can house these animals until they get them back into conservation efforts and programs, conservatories, all that kind of stuff. Also, there's a lot of them out there that are captive bred that can't be returned to the wild. I know they don't pop up in the rescue community that often, but if I would ever be able to work with a large reptile like that, I would absolutely die. Darlene asks, will you ever decide to file and become a 501c nonprofit? So I looked into it a tiny bit, like maybe 5 years ago, right when we first started, almost like a year after, and it seemed like there was a lot of stipulations on them telling you what you had to do and what you were allowed to do, all that kind of stuff. I don't like being told what to do. I like to do things my way, and of course I'm prepared for all of that. I financially do all of this on my own, so it just depends, I guess. I know with rehabilitation, I have a proxy license, I guess you could say. I help other people who have the license, and I'm working on getting my own license so I can do it all by myself. There's a lot of rules that I don't agree with, that I think actually go against the animal's welfare, so it just kind of depends on what all that means. I would have to look into it a lot more. I haven't. Tina asked, what species or type of animal requires the most care or is the hardest to take care of? So currently the animal that I feel for me takes up most of my time and is just demanding in a lot of ways is my sugar gliders. I don't want to say that they're my most expensive, and I also don't want to say that they're horribly difficult to keep. I just know that for me it is time consuming because of the way that you have to care for them if you want them to thrive. Brandy asks, what is the hardest animals you have ever taken in a rescue, and would you do it again? As far as rescue wise, is there anything that I wouldn't take in if I had the space and money to? No, I would definitely take in anything I could possibly, that I can possibly afford and have the space and time / knowledge to. So there's nothing that I would turn down, unless of course it was for a reason like that, where I just couldn't commit to it truly. The hardest animal, honestly, I feel like every single case is hard for me. I am such an emotional person. I don't know if there's ever been an easy one. So the next question is, if you could own any mythical fantasy creature, what would you want? Oh my gosh, what is that thing off of Harry Potter where it's got like the head of an eagle and it flies around? Whatever that is, I want one of those. So someone asked, if you could only own one of your pets that you own now, which one would it be and why? So I think basically what they're asking is, if I had to pick one, I would pick none. Honestly, I could never just pick. If it came down to all of my animals, like, I would throw my life on the line. I would not pick one. I know that situation's never gonna happen, but I just can't even think about it, honestly. It emotionally upsets me just doing the question. So Anna asked, do you have any tips for starting a channel? I want to start a channel, but I'm a little camera shy and I also don't have all the time in the world. So it does take, honestly, several hours, but you can always do it your way and do what you want. You don't have to follow people's guidelines or rules or instructions. I personally have been doing what people say is the best way to grow your channel, because I really want that community vibe and that group of people who we all have similar views to build each other up, to answer questions, learn things, and I want a consistent channel, hopefully. I don't really care about the numbers, but I would like a quality channel of people who are actually interested, who truly watch the videos, who want to comment, who I can go subscribe to their channel as well, just a real community. If you want something like that and you are planning on like connecting with your viewers, it's gonna take a lot of time, honestly, because a lot of effort goes into these videos. A lot more money than people would think goes into these videos. It is not easy starting up, definitely, but you can always just start and give it your all, and I promise people will watch you. Even if you don't think they will, people will watch you. There is someone out there that is going to connect with you on an emotional level, that is going to want to do what you're doing and want to hear what you have to say. Who or what inspires you? So I literally have probably a couple dozen YouTubers that I watch on a daily basis and that are constantly inspiring me. I probably wouldn't have this channel without all the people that I watch. I've always been doing what I do long before pet YouTube was a real thing like it is now. It's never been this big, I feel like. But basically everyone posting about it and being more public about their animal hobby, about their rescuing hobby, about how they do things, diets, enclosures, everything. I don't think that I would be here without all of these YouTubers and without my mother. My mother was from day one always driving me to rescue, driving me to animals. I don't know if she even knew that she was doing this. I think that's just who she is as a person. But I will put a couple of the channels that I literally, if I see their name pop up that they posted a video, I drop everything and I'm watching the video. basically those people and my mother are probably my main inspiration. Other rescue communities that I work with, all the people that I have on Facebook and Instagram that are animal related, I get inspiration from all of you. When someone subscribes to me, I literally go and look at their channel and see what they're about. I'm always doing that. I don't care who you are. I feel like you can learn something from everyone. Courtney Baxter asked, what was your first pet and how old were you? When I was born, we already had 2 dogs, Jetta and Jake, and those were my first 2 animals because they were already there before me. They were Whippets, and my mom rescued Jake and then found his sister Jetta and got her as well. Which animal do you think is the easiest to care for and which do you think is the hardest? So in terms of maintenance, for me personally and my experiences with my current lifestyle, my invertebrates are my easiest to care for. I wouldn't say they would be easy for everyone, but my lifestyle makes them fairly easy. A lot of them don't eat very often. Their cages, even if you make them really nice and extravagant, are not truly that expensive because they're not that big. When we're talking about a spider the size of your fingernail, they can thrive in something that's massive that really isn't massive to us because they're so tiny. What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions / myths to some of the animals you keep? Oh my lord, this is like a daily basis that I work with people that are not necessarily in the animal world like I am, and I also, you know, have family that's not into this. I have friends that aren't into this. So I hear a lot of funny things whenever I talk about my animals, like they're going to get out and kill you. Do they all live together loose in the house? Are they gonna give you a disease? All sorts of crazy stuff. They just aren't aware because they don't know. Just like if I were in a mechanic store, I wouldn't know what's going on and I wouldn't know what to ask. They're just not a part of this world. A lot of times they're actually semi-interested or scared. Most people aren't ugly, at least in my experience. I don't know, at least not to my face, but I think people just don't know because they're not a part of this world, so they're kind of confused and a little scared by hearing stuff like that. Savannah says, you must have a ton of exotic knowledge to run the place as awesomely as you are. Thank you. Which species do you think you know most about or as your favorite? So I semi-answered the favorite part already. Which species do I know the most about? Honestly, I thoroughly research everything for like days, weeks. I print off stuff, I join a forum, I ask people who I know, I buy books. So I don't want to say that I know more about any one particular animal, but the animal that I started researching first before any of the others, so I've been researching it the longest, because to me this is a constant thing. I continually am active on groups and forums and stuff like that because things change and you learn more. So I would say rats, honestly, because that's what I started with way back in the day. Bella asked, what do you feed your rats and what do you recommend keeping them healthy and trim? So we do fresh fruits and vegetables occasionally, depending upon the rat, how their stomach handles it, all that kind of stuff. We always do organic personally. That's a preference of mine. As far as food, I use Oxbow because it is what I consider to be the best. There are other brands out there that are good, that are a little cheaper, and depending upon where you're located country-wise, you may not even know what Oxbow is. A woman asked, do you rescue any reptiles? Yes, we do, and we are expanding into the reptile community more and more every day. We have turtles, tortoises, we are getting some amphibians, and we have lots of invertebrates. I know that's not all necessarily reptile, but it's kind of in that same vibe. Kitty Cat asks, how do you feel about sharing your home with lots of animals? It makes me happy every day when I wake up knowing that my animals are within a couple feet of me. I know now that we are building the animal house, they're not going to be right outside my door anymore, but they're going to be right inside my yard, and it honestly stresses me knowing that they're that far away. Okay, so we did a random name generator and Tyler is going to tell me who the winner is. Okay guys, so the winner is the Turtle Girl. Congratulations, I'm so excited you won. I will contact you via social media and we will get your prize sent out to you right away. We are also picking a runner-up, I've decided, since so many people entered, and I don't know what that prize will be. It'll be smaller than the original prize, but I just wanted to do something to give back to a little more of you. The second runner-up is Jennifer Boston. I will also contact you via social media. Okay guys, so that was all of the questions today. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I will definitely be doing another giveaway pretty soon because we're already on track for my next goal. I am so excited, and honestly I cannot thank you guys enough. You are awesome. Each one of you make me want to cry when you subscribe. Every time I see that number grow by the hundreds when I post a video, it's literally insane to me that there's this many people that care about what I have to say and that find it enjoyable to watch these videos. Every time one of you subscribes, I go and look through your channel, look through your Instagram, look through your Facebook, and just see who you are as a person. I love getting to know you guys. It amazes me that this many people have subscribed this quickly. Okay guys, let's go check out what Tyler's accomplished so far on our projects. Okay guys, I came out to the shed to see what progress Tyler has so far. Look a little crazy, it's really hot out here and we've been both working really hard. Him a little bit more than me. But he has almost insulated 2 whole sides. We still have a lot more to go over here. I think this shed is a lot bigger than it seems whenever I upload the pictures on Instagram, but it is over 20 foot long, so it's huge. It's a little bit smaller than some of my friends' apartments, which is kind of crazy. So it's gonna take a while to get everything ready. It's way more expensive than we thought, which was already expensive, but we're trying to get it done as fast as possible for the animals and for you guys, because then we can start filming videos. So how it's gonna go, I have a little paper that I will insert in the top picture up here. Basically it's a sketch I drew for Tyler of what the wall on this side is going to look like. So we are going to have shelving units all the way up 8 foot on the wall, making kind of a U shape, and all our terrariums, insects, vivariums, paludariums, all that is going to go here. And then a mouse tank here, probably only 55 gallons. You guys know I like to do at least 100 gallons for my mice, but we don't have the space to do that here. And then on both of these side walls, we're going to have 2 IKEA Detolfs for the hamsters. In the middle, on the floor, the rabbits are going to have a probably 12 by 10 pen. They're used to a lot bigger. They're used to 16 by something because they had their own bedroom. But again, we have to downgrade everyone to fit them inside of this shed so that they are safe from all of the fumes of the renovation of the house. Now, when I say downgrade, if any of you know me or anything about me, I literally do enclosures at least 10 times the size of the minimum. I believe in space, so when I say downgrade, I'm downgrading my hamster from a 3,000 square inch to an IKEA Detolf, which is 1,000 square inches, which is still double the minimum. It's way bigger than what it needs to be. I just want you guys to be aware. I know a lot of times people will leave comments on YouTubers saying you always say you're gonna upgrade. I'm not saying I'm going to upgrade, I already have. They had this way before they had this. Like, I have all of the huge cages, way bigger than this. So we're gonna keep going from here. So behind me, we're going to do a sofa and a sitting area for me to film, which is gonna be directly back from the door. In front of the door, next to the Detolf, we're doing 2 20-gallon aquariums, one for the betta fish, one for the axolotl. All of those, again, above the minimum. Like I said, rabbits will be here, all of the invertebrates and all of the different stuff on that side, the mice. On this side, I have 22 Critter Nation units. We're gonna figure out how many can fit in here for the sugar gliders, the ferrets, the rats, anything over there. On top of the Critter Nations, these ceilings are super tall. If we have room for storage, we're gonna be doing storage. I'm hoping to get a triple in here. I don't know if that's gonna fit. These ceilings are tall, but we need to be aware of the fact that there's a lot of animals that need at least over the minimum amount of space, so we can't give one a massive enclosure and the other just a bare minimum. We'll work all of that out as we go. I'm also gonna have an area for where all of my urns are. I'm also gonna have an area for all of my urns and a coffee table terrarium if I can get my hands on one. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and we will continue to update you guys through the process. I am so happy for everyone who has subscribed. Again, it means the world to me that you guys are part of this journey with me. So next, let's go take a look at the tortoise enclosure. I'll see you there. So this is what Tyler has came up with, the tortoise enclosure so far. He's been following the plans basically that I want him to do. So this is what everything looks like. This is where the waterfall is currently in progress. We've got some plants going on back there and over here. We've got the sides built up pretty high, and the front is gonna have a beautiful glass door, which I feel like I've never seen anyone do before. We're also going to have a roof that is like basically for a greenhouse over this 50 square foot, and then all the way out to this fence, which is I think 15 to 20 feet total. We are going to have a little during the day area, only whenever I'm home, so he's supervised. This area is going to be completely fenced in like a chicken coop per se, but with actual strong metal mesh, not chicken wire, since a lot of predators can get through that. So that's just an update on this. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me every time. I hope you guys have a fabulous day.